We are slowly approaching the end of this Bulldog draft. It's not a fast draft, so it's taking us a little bit, but we're getting there. We did our 15th round selection off camera last night because it was a bit late. We're going to do our 16th round, talk about both picks. Myself, Silas Jackson, Trev. Let's go.
3, 2, 1, liftoff.
What's going on, gentlemen? We are ready to do this 16th round selection. I think before we do that, I'll say hello to Silas. Hello to Trev.
Hello.
And let's talk about the 15th round pick because we weren't able to record it last night. It happened around like midnight to 1 when we were on the clock. We had to queue it up that way we could at least get this pick in and talk about it. There was a few different ways we were looking to go. We were looking at running backs. We were talking about some quarterbacks, which we're about to talk about now. We went with Tyjae Spears for this team. And there was some debate and not debate, but discussion about which running back we actually like the best here. Spears was on board, as well as Leonard Fournette. And I believe there was one more name we were talking
Chase
about.
Brown.
And Chase Brown, who had like a mini correlation with MVS on this team. So we ended up going with Tyjae Spears. And I think if anyone wants to interrupt me, but we went because of the upside. We just think he has the best upside out of every back that was on board, correct?
Yeah. I mean, Derrick Henry's getting up there. Potentially could get traded. And Tajay, they just drafted him, so potential upside, handcuff plausibility.
Right. Puts us at a 1-6-7-1 build right now. If you don't mind, Silas, let's pull up the team and go over that real quick. And unfortunately, Eric couldn't make it here for this morning show. We got kind of screwed by the clock on this one based on when to draft. It was going to be a little tough for us to all get on. We're luckily 3 of us were able to. But our team right now is Lamar Jackson, Cam Akers, Damian Harris, A.J. Dillon, Tank Bigsby, Khalil Herbert, Tyjae Spears, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Terry McLaurin, Brandon Ayuk, Zay Flowers, MVS, Jaden Reed, George Kittle at tight end. And so we're one off with elite players at the onesie positions. We have 6 running backs. We have 7 wide receivers. We have 3 picks left here. And the question is going to be, what do we do with this pick based on some of the stuff that has happened in this draft? So we were looking at potentially taking Brock Purdy or Sam Howell. And if we pull up the draft board, we can see that they actually went a little bit earlier than I think anyone really expected. They went right at the beginning of round 15 with the 1501 and 1502. Brock Purdy went, then Sam Howell went. Kind of throws us off a little bit. I don't think it's a massive deal, but not what we were expecting, right, gentlemen?
No, I was almost certain that one of them would fall back to us.
Right.
And nope, no shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we set ourselves up for back ending those stacks. I guess we still technically could with Trey Lance, if we even want to have that discussion. But yeah, it was a little unfortunate. We also saw Jordan Love go, another late round target of Desmond Ridder. So we're kind of getting thin at quarterback. I know I threw out there a possibility of a 1 QB build. I don't know if
I think we should at least discuss the 1 QB build a little bit right now. I don't think it's something out of the realm of possibility. We have Lamar. We're banking on Lamar quite hard on this team, right? The advance rate stuff is a lot better in this tournament than like BBM or some of the other tournaments. So it's going to be easier to get that single Lamar build through. I mean, we know what the disadvantages are. Lamar misses a week. It hurts more than normal. He is ripe to miss weeks in past seasons. He's done it quite a bit throughout his career where he's not fully healthy all the time. So there's that scare. Any other reasons you would want to go or not go with the 1 QB build? I'll start with you, Trev.
I mean, even if you just say Lamar misses one game plus the bye week, adding someone like Mac Jones, that can give us like an extra 30 to 40 points, you could say, depending on how he plays in those games.
Mhm.
So I think we don't need to get too cute. But it's also what are we adding? Because I think we have strong wide receivers, so adding eighth would, I'm not sure that's getting us those like 30, 40 points, and maybe it gives us a little more upside,
Mhm.
but it'd be hard for us to hit it. I think I would rather go one tight end than one QB. But even then, I think we could do like we're talking about the Mac Henry stack, and we have a couple of options. So I guess it really just, do we want to go one tight end? Do we want to go 7 RBs? Do we want 8 wide receivers? We kind of need to figure out what we want to do before we make our pick right here.
Silas, do you want to argue the one QB build one way or the other?
No, I think I agree with Trev. I don't think it makes a total ton of sense with how kind of risky it makes us.
Mhm.
We've kind of been talking about it, like don't get too cute, don't screw yourself out of the draft,
Right.
and like just kind of play it a little bit safer because of the way the advanced structures is, specifically in this tournament. So I think it definitely makes sense to probably grab another quarterback. I don't know if Mac is necessarily the one that I would love, but I think one tight end might be an easier strategy if we wanted to, bulk up on other positions.
All right, let's take a look at quarterbacks right now. Typically, this is a spot where in normal drafts that I've been in, where I would say, let's push this QB thing to the 17th, 18th round to get Mac Jones. But with Brock Purdy, with Sam Howell getting pushed up to that 15th round, I don't think that's going to be the standard um, build that we're going to be looking for here in terms of what people are going to be doing. I think we might get locked out if we don't take somebody right here. And the guys we're looking at that are on board are Kenny Pickett, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Mac Jones. I know we keep talking about Mac Jones, but I'm looking at Bryce Young. He really does complement our team quite well with having a week 16 matchup with Green Bay, a week 17 matchup with Jacksonville. We can still get Hayden Hurst if we want to, either, one of our next picks, most likely. Are you guys like sold on Mac Jones, or do you like either of these other guys?
No, I
I'm
think that.
definitely.
Go ahead, Trev.
Yeah, I would say I'm not sold at all.
Mhm.
I think he's definitely like down here the safest pick. You can bank him playing the entire season. I don't think he's losing his job. But I think Young and Stroud have definite upside. They're more talented than Mac Jones, I think, and they probably have worse defenses. So they're going to be throwing more. And if they break out, if we see like a Justin Herbert rookie season, there's a chance there's a few weeks they actually break into our lineup, like over Lamar if he has a down game.
Mhm.
So I definitely like that. And yeah, Young, we have Hurst and Stroud. There's the Tank Dell. I won't even bring up the old man who plays wide receiver for them. So we definitely have options, and I'm fine with any of them, honestly.
So I'm just want to be transparent. I know that for, as we were talking through this last night, he's kind of on Mac Jones for this particular pick. So I just want to put that out there. Like if he's doing his rankings, I know Mac Jones is one. Silas, if you're looking at these quarterbacks, who is your favorite? If you want to give me your top 2 or 3 out of them in order.
I mean, personal preference, I really like CJ Stroud. I don't think we're
Mhm.
going to be able to stack him, which definitely hurts. Bryce Young plays into the week 16, week 17 things where we have Green Bay players in Jaden Reed and AJ Dillon. And then we have Tank Bigsby for week 17. But I also like Kenny Pickett for the rushing upside aspect.
Yeah.
Bryce, CJ, and Mac Jones are all pocket passers. They're not really going to use their legs. Like Kenny Pickett could actually produce a really high upside single game to jump into our lineup and increase it. It's just we don't really have another stacking partner for him outside of
Right.
maybe Allen Robinson, and that doesn't really entice me.
Can we look at the wide receivers real quick just to see what we're looking at potentially in terms of stacking? We see Mechie on board, but he's going to be gone by our next pick for sure. So if we scroll down a little bit, um, to your point there's like Nathaniel Dell that we could get with Stroud. potentially on our next come around. Terrace Marshall's there. Assuming, yeah, there you go with Allen Robinson. So let's hit tight end real fast. And we do see Mike Gesicki for Mac Jones, Hayden Hurst. We know that Hunter Henry's down there. So I think the one that we know we can get a stack for is Mac Jones. If we wanted to go that way, we know that he's going to have a stacking partner for us. Like it's like a 99% chance with one of the two tight ends. I wouldn't mind risking the upside of Bryce Young when we have Lamar. He sets up for our week 16, week 17 stuff a little bit more. I don't think we love, and I don't think anyone's in love with any of these quarterbacks. I guess I think Mac Jones probably has the best floor out of everybody. If that's what we're looking for, if we want floor to go with Lamar, then I think it is Mac Jones. But if we want like some upside, I do think it's Stroud or Bryce Young, but they are rookies. We know what rookie quarterbacks do. So I can kind of be swayed any which way on this. But I think that if I were to rank them, I'd slightly edge Bryce Young over Mac Jones, but it's real close, and it's mostly because of stacking partners.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely one of the rookies. I think they're more likely to play 17 games than Mac Jones is. And I think their floor might be a little bit safer. Well, because Mac does have Bailey Zappi. He got benched last year. Like it's not out of the realm of possibilities if he gets off to a slow start.
And they had to coach hate each other.
Exactly. And I mean, they did bring in a new offensive coordinator, so it's going to be a new system. So there are some changes, and those could be positive for Mac. But Bryce Young, we know, is playing 17 games. He was the number one overall pick for a reason. Like,
yeah,
just makes sense.
Yeah.
Trev?
I'd say the only way Mac can match their upside is if they do get Hopkins, which we don't know. It's all up in the air. So I think if he had that actual like legitimate number one receiver, then sure he can match them. But I mean, like you said, Young was the number one overall pick, and we're getting him in the 16th round. That just seems like if he was 2 inches taller, he's probably going a few rounds higher, and he was still good being short and small. So as a short and small man, I have no problems with Young. I think he should be our pick.
He also, to the defense point, they're probably going to be playing from behind a lot. We're hoping for some garbage time points here from him and a third, fourth quarters to maybe some of those games where he is actually atrocious. His fantasy numbers balance out towards the end as teams just go into some prevent defenses and stuff like that. So I don't think you're going to get that with Mac Jones a lot, to the point that, I'm sorry, I don't remember which one of you made it, but the Patriots defense is probably going to be good, and they're probably going to be grinding it out in a lot of these games. So I'm totally okay. If we want to go Bryce Young, I think there are two stacking partners that we can find in these 17th, 18th rounds. I think with having Lamar, the upside is beneficial to being able to take a swing on one of the rookies and still have tremendous upside. Do we think it's going to happen? Probably not, but it's there. So if we're going quarterback, I'm going Bryce Young. I don't know. Let's just take a quick peek at running back. We already have 6. The only two guys that really jump out to me here would be Gus Edwards or Leonard Fournette for some upside. I don't think they're necessities for our team, though. Anyone else have anything to say?
I think we just wait on another running back. I think there's plenty of late round guys or guys that have even lower ADPs that they're in the same boat as like Lenny and Gus.
Yeah, there's like Travion, Zamir. There's all those guys who normally go undrafted that I think are worth taking a shot on.
Sure.
So I'm fine waiting.
And I think we looked at wide receivers, but we can pull it up one more time. We're pretty fine waiting. We see Mechie, Paris Campbell, Isaiah Hodgins, Hunter Renfrow, Wandale Robinson. So I don't think there's anyone you guys want to pound the table for there. If I'm wrong, please do.
Nope.
Other than that, I think Bryce Young is probably the pick here, personally.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. So a little bit of an easier one today, a little bit of a shorter video. Again, we took who the hell did we take last night? Tajay Spears last night. You had me all thrown, Trev. My brain just went to Travion. as soon as you said that name, like my brain was stuck on Travion. But we got Tajay Spears last night. We just took Bryce Young. So our roster is Lamar Jackson, Bryce Young, Cam Akers, Damian Harris, A.J. Dillon, Tank Bigsby, Khalil Herbert, Tajay Spears, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Terry McLaurin, Brandon Ayuk, Zay Flowers, MVS, Jaden Reed, and George Kittle. Can you just hit the playoff view for me, Silas? And we'll just go over our week 17 matchups. So we built up a San Francisco, Washington stack, which was McLaurin, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. We also have this Carolina one that we just kind of started, which is Bryce Young and Tank Bigsby. And I think that's it, but we have a lot of correlation through weeks 15 and 16 as well. So the team on the playoff view, which is just week 17, doesn't look super correlated, but it actually, we did correlate some tiebreakers throughout the draft with the other weeks. That's going to do it for me. Do you guys have anything else to add to the team, whereas we kind of wind down this draft with 2 picks left?
Just on the playoff view, like, week 17 is huge in BBM and the puppies because they're such large field. Like,
Right.
I mean, it's not super beneficial to not have a ton of those week 17 games in this tournament, but it's not as necessary because you don't need as exuberant of a score to win the overall tournament.
Right. The final is much smaller, so
Like,
good.
I said, I believe it's only 8 people.
Yeah, we want to definitely be one of those 8 people. That would be very fun sweat for us here at Spike Week. But until next time, it's been myself, Silas, Trev. We will catch you next time. Peace. Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there, you can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.